Good afternoon, everybody, although I think it's still morning. I'm going to display how to cover a Lazy Susan plate so that it still spins great with a slab of polymer clay on it. I will be using ikandclay canes, as I just love her canes. And then let's get started. So I took 2 slabs of purple through my pasta maker, and I need to burnish them together and try and get out as many air pockets as I can by rolling them with my finger. That will help get them out, or a rolling pin before I burnish it down. That way I can get some of the air bubbles out in the middle of the crack here. Looks pretty tasty. Looks pretty good. And now I'm going to take some wax paper. I use little sheets, and I'm going to burnish it together so that it is sealed, and so that hopefully you won't see the crack in my final design, because it's not going to be centered crack. And then when you do this also, you can still see, I don't know if you can see it, there's an air pocket here. Maybe I can roll them together and make a big air pocket and push them out the edge. I'll do that after. And because the burnishing text, the way it came together, I think I'm going to put a texture on it. So I've got a bunch of texture sheets. Half of them just went in the trash. So stuff like this might be nice because she's got a lot of flowers and stuff like that I like to use. Camera's over here. Just love it. So pretty. Anyways, so maybe I'll just go with a wood texture. And you can press words into it if you wanted to. There's those texture sheets. I've got texture sheets like this one would be pretty too, but I think the wood, this one's got quite a deeper relief than the wood one does. Also the stamping for putting in paper, for making cards, embossing, these make great textures also. I just kind of cut them in half, so I've got an indent and I've got a relief on the other side with the other section of it. All kinds of stuff. Yeah, something like this is what you would use to make paper. And you can find these at your local hobby store. So I think I'm going to go with the wood, and let's see how that turns out. I have used brown on it before, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. So normally I either burnish it down or I roll it with a roller, but I don't want the edges, or at least the inside edges, to adhere yet. And if it doesn't come out completely, which it's not, completely indented, which is fine, it just gives it a little added extra texture that it normally wouldn't have. There. I kind of did a crisscross applesauce. So I went this way, and then I went this way, and then I tried to fill in the little blanks in between so that at least the edges of the dish will be able to get some texture when I cut the circle out. All right. So now I'm going to take my template and place it over it. And I want to go around in a circle to see I've got more down here than I do up there. Okay, so now I'm going to take, so you can use an X-Acto knife or you can use a scalpel. These I'm pretty sure I bought these on Amazon. These are number 11s and they are just superb and very sharp. So now I'm just going to go around in a circle like this. And my thing doesn't move because it's kind of adhered to the clay a little bit, which is fine. And we'll just cut the slice here. And then pick up all this other stuff because you're not going to need it. And this can go for another project because I got a big pile of it. So I will put that aside on top of my pasta maker and pull up, and voila, perfect. A little off-centered on the tile, but that's a-okay. Now to choose my colors. Do I start? This is such a beautiful cane. This is such a beautiful one. I just love this. The design is very intricate and just has a really nice pattern and a really southwestern look. And it's got purple in it. Okay, so how do I find my inside? Well, that's a good question. Sometimes that's rather difficult for me. So I will draw myself a template on a piece of paper, cut it in half, and then fold my circle in half and do it that way. That one's not big enough. This one's a little bigger, but that one's still not big enough. So I might find myself a piece. I've got all kinds of stuff in my studio here for, let's see, how big is that one? See, I could use this one. I know where the center is on there, and then I could just try and fiddle with it and center it that way. But, you know, I'm good at eyeballing stuff. So the problem is this doesn't actually have a hole in the middle, but it does have the lines for mandalas, and that's what I usually paint the mandalas on the Lazy Susans. Let me go get one and show you. Okay, here is a sample of one of them, and when you record them spinning, they're very cool. They seem to go back around the wrong way. Anyways, there's that one, and then there's this one. These are just examples. As you see, my center dot is not completely centered. Like I said, sometimes it's hard for me to find the center. I'm just go by the seat of your pants kind of artist. So that's why my name of my company is Slightly Unbalanced, because I am usually slightly unbalanced. As you can see, a lot of the stuff is slightly unbalanced. But it's still art, it's still beautiful, it's still functionable, and people love it. And they love ikandclay canes. So there you go. Those are examples of how I paint my dot mandala Susans and plates and candle holders and all kinds of things. Here, I'll give you another example of things that I want to paint. And you can also, so this is a tile that I got at Habitat for Humanity. So that's going to get painted. I'm not going to put clay on that because, and I spray painted it. Here is